Namaste. I would like everyone who's present for this Seiheiki symbol attunement to lie down and to feel your body's contact with the ground. And feel like you're giving your weight to gravity, letting gravity be experienced as the embrace of the earth. Feel like it's not an impersonal, universal energy that's pulling you in, but the warm embrace of a living planet. And feel like you're entrusting yourself to be held by this energy. And as you breathe, I'd like you to feel every time you exhale, you're letting go and giving your weight to gravity, to the embrace of the earth. Belly expanding on the inhale, belly relaxing on the exhale. And as you are breathing, I would like for you to join in intention to call in sacred space, to visualize and feel the energy pouring into the room that you're in. And consecrating this space for the attunement. It can be as simple as visualizing walls of light superimposed on the walls of your room. And the floor also becoming luminous, and the ceiling. And feel like the energy is pouring into this chamber and filling it. And once you have done so, feel like you're moving from ordinary space and ordinary time to sacred space and sacred time. And the energy of this time dimension is different from the energy of your social time and your even biological time. So what I'd like for you to do is feel like you're letting go of whatever's occurred in your past, any worries you may have of things that are occurring now. Feel like you're letting go to be in sacred space and sacred time, where these problems literally do not exist. One way of understanding this is feel like you checked in your shoes at the door and also your problems. And you can take them back on the way out when you return to your world. But for this time, you're letting go of worries and concerns about your life. And when you're in this space, feel like you're opening up to universal unconditional love to heal you of everything. Inhale, breathing in this energy. Exhale, letting go of everything you've outgrown. And I'd like you now to visualize the Seiheiki symbol, to visualize it as it spontaneously appears in your mind, or to visualize it like the symbol in the picture, realizing the picture is two-dimensional and these symbols are three-dimensional, to let the symbol show its other sides of dimension. And Seiheiki in Tanran Reiki is sometimes called the cat symbol because it is, in a sense, a stylized cat with a tail and two paws that you see in the symbol, with the Z as like the whiskers and the neck is that small little stem, and the curve is the belly. And when first receiving these symbols, there was a book of Egyptian symbols that showed symbols of cats, and some of them were very similar to Seiheiki. And there's also the Sphinx that is half human and half lion, and lions and cats are genetically related. And also, there's the curious thing of what's called a face on Mars. It was a picture NASA had found that it later denied, but it seems like there was remnants of a civilization on Mars that had carved something like a sphinx, except it was a face facing upwards. And carefully looking at the face, it's one side is human, the other side is cat, and beyond those are tetrahedron pyramids. And what Hoagland found when he did his study of that is that there is a parallel face on Earth near Salisbury, England, where they used the picture that NASA had to match the scale of that and find the tetrahedron pyramids, or at least some of them, using the idea that whoever did the one on Earth and Mars were somehow related because they copied each other and did scale models of the two sites. The cat was used sometimes for the Egyptians for divination because they represented an emotional intuitive wisdom. And it is symbol of what is activated during the Seiheiki symbol attunement. So what you do is visualize and feel the symbol floating 6 inches above the soft spot at the top of the head, and asking the Reiki guides to bless and energize this symbol. And feel their energy pouring into the symbol, getting it ready for the attunement. And then to breathe it in through the soft spot at the top of the head. Feel like you're not merely breathing through your nose or mouth, or both, but also through the soft spot. I feel like you're drawing the symbol into your skull and down your spine, and feel like it's going down the spine all the way to the belly and resting in the belly region. And the inner meaning of Seiheiki is divine grace meeting you at the point of need. One of the things about especially the Tanran Reiki symbols is that they all represent aspects of universal unconditional love. And the aspect of universal unconditional love that is part of Seiheiki is the feeling of meeting you at the point of need. And of course the belly is where we break down the food we eat and transform it to something that satisfies our biological needs. And so Seiheiki is placed there to take care of the emotional needs of our mind, heart, and body. And it's the primal wish to have your needs be met. And the word need itself is an interesting word that is used loosely. In terms of your biological sciences, the word need is something that which, when deprived of, the organism starts to die. And when you have it given to you in sufficient quantities to satisfy your need, then you not only survive, but you also tend to thrive, to live well. So there's survival needs and thriving needs, or sometimes called self-actualizing needs, what you need in order to evolve into your full potential. So feeling yourself breathing in universal unconditional love is that which satisfies your need. Feel like you're opening and receiving and letting your needs be met. Continuing to breathe. Next, what I'd like for you to do is visualize a long highway, and would like for you to take the year that you have and however old you are biologically, and see that as a mile marker on a road in time. And looking forward, you see your future on the road, and looking backwards, you see your past. And I'd like you to visualize Seiheiki floating above your head as you walk down the road. And as you walk by, you see another year of your life going backwards in time, subtracting one and seeing another sign with the previous year, and the next sign with the year after that, going backwards, subtracting one at a time. And would like for you to feel that Seiheiki is sending its energy through all the days of each of the years you walk by, that it's going into all the events that have occurred during each of the years, and it's shining its energy and light, meeting whatever needs were not fully met in any of the events of your life. And as you go backwards in time this way, you may notice that the years feel differently from each other, even though we're not focusing on exact events. Part of Reiki's energy is to go where it's needed, that the energy of universal unconditional love has its own wisdom and senses where it's got both needs it can meet and also permission to have them fulfilled. So as you're going backwards, feel the energy going by and helping your inner child to heal. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. I'd like you to feel you're reaching the 25-year marker and you're going backwards to year 24, feeling the light of Seiheiki flood into that year and meet any event where your needs were not fully met and supplying the energy that you needed then. For instance, you may have had a public speech that you gave at a university, and you might have needed a little courage. So feel like you're in the event and breathing in the courage that you needed. Or let us say you you asked somebody on a date and they rejected you, and you needed a little approval or validation that you were still a good partner to be worth a chance to have a relationship. And again, feeling the energy of Seiheiki meet you at the point of need and validate you, or approve of you, or encourage you to follow your inspirations. Whatever the need is, feel like Seiheiki's meeting it. Continue to breathe. Going to the 20-year marker, feeling Seiheiki filled this year, meeting you at the point of need. Then 19, then 18, and 17, then 16. And with year 16, feel like it's flooding into your entire teenage experience. Then 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. Moving down from 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Feeling Seiheiki send energy to all those years, meeting you at events where you needed something. And you may feel Seiheiki just touch events in a very general way, or even call up specific events and heal them very deeply. Year 9, 8, 7, 6, and feeling from the 6-year point the energy of Seiheiki flood into your childhood, and especially satisfying your needs for approval and validation, or even just simply psychological visibility, to know that you are known and met. Continue to breathe. Continuing downwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going back to the time of birth. 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, 8 months, 7 months, 6 months. Feeling Seiheiki flood all those months, meeting you at the point of need. 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. Feeling the time when you were born, and perhaps here you may have needed to be given time to breathe, to open up, to switch from breathing through the umbilical cord and then breathing through your own lungs. So I'd like you to feel that you have all the time in the world and relax into having the energy of the symbols combined with the breath work. Moving back to into the womb. And going backwards, feeling all the months inside the womb. Feeling the energy of Seiheiki bless and energize and meet you at the point of needs in all those places, including the need for individuality, for some sense of separation between the emotions of your mother and your own. Then I'd like you to feel you're moving backwards to the point where you enter the womb. And notice what it looks like from the bardo, from the space between death and rebirth. And feeling what the wombs look like when you're in the bardo. And there is quite a number of ways that the womb vortex seems when you are seeking rebirth. And sometimes you see your parents, your future parents, in symbolic form. Like if they are a spiritual family, you may see a Tibetan mandala floating above them. Or if they're a Navajo tribe, you may see a sand mandala. Or if they are wealthy, you may see like bars of gold floating in their field. If you see people doing tantric union with each other, you may see a silver blue vortex that looks like two cones touching at the points of each other, and a couple making love to each other in some mudra. So there could be many appearances that you might be attracted to as you move into rebirth. And I'd like you to feel Seiheiki pouring in what you needed even in those spaces. Like perhaps you needed to slow down and be in less hurry to be reborn. Or perhaps there was just too much karmic force driving you to a specific rebirth, and you needed to burn away this karma so you had a better choice with less suffering. I'd like for you to feel you're touching upon a free point in your journey where you can see the landscape of time and all the choices you can make. I'd like you to ask this part of you that is seeking rebirth, what purpose is this part of you going to give itself when you take on a human body and a human life? And see what kind of answer you get from this part of yourself. It could be just a feeling of what life was going to be like, or what you expect, or some desire. It could be something as specific as a musician wanting to create an exact piece and share it with the world. Or it could be as general as a being of loving service in a general helpful way, being extra attentive to when people need to be helped. And you might hear a specific sentence that determines what your purpose is. And part of the healing of Seiheiki is to have you join your purpose, to acknowledge your purpose and align you back with what your purpose was when you chose incarnation, when you chose to be a human being at this time and space in history. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. I'd like for you to make the determination to remember whatever answer you received. Sometimes it's very symbolic of what you're here to do, and sometimes the images or message you get won't be understandable until another event happens in your life. Whatever it is, if you do keep a journal, I recommend writing about what you receive in this. And would like for you now to feel like you're now hovering over that road of time, and you are floating over events where some pain happened and letting Seiheiki radiate its energy and giving you what you needed then. And would like for you to feel that through this symbol you're releasing your parents from fulfilling your needs. As children, we often expect to get everything from our parents. And even if we have very wonderful parents or very cruel parents, chances are we're going to have some unmet needs just because of the nature of human limitation at this time. And what you want to do is to honor the loving intention of the parents. This might be buried among a lot of intense emotions. And the other thing is to feel the energy of Seiheiki plugging you into universal unconditional love and meeting all your needs, all the needs for companionship. Continuing to breathe. Continue to breathe again. In terms of the previous transmission, we did Totanen, the economic healing symbol. I'd like for you to feel you can call in Seiheiki to help you with your economic needs. They're given in trust of Totanen's way of working. And we can join purposes that come in from different angles with the Reiki symbols. Like if you're going into your future, into your next 10 years, and feeling the light of Seiheiki meeting your future needs, preparing the events that will meet your needs, especially economic. Notice how it feels to have your future needs being met in this place beyond time. where there's sacred space and sacred time, but it's not bound by conventional rules. Continue to breathe. Again, if you have a journal to write down the experiences when you go into the future and feel Seiheiki meeting your future needs. And when one of your psychologists called Maslow studied human needs, he found that you naturally move from lower order needs to higher order needs as you get fulfilled. That once you have your survival needs complete, the next level is safety and belonging needs. And Seiheiki can meet these. It can bring you food for survival and a sense of safety and belonging with people. Continue to breathe. I'd like for you now to contact the space that you're in, your physical space, and notice your body. Notice how your body feels on the ground that you have chosen to lie down upon. And I'm going to count from 1 to 10, and you're going to surface from the attunement. Blessing, energizing, and sealing the attunement, asking Reiki guides to bless, energize, and seal the attunement. Asking the subconscious mind to give permission for the symbol to be active in pouring energy to meet all your needs on a mental, emotional, and physical level. One, two, three, feeling your hands. 4, 5, 6, feeling your feet. 7, 8, 9, feeling your neck and skull. And 10, opening your eyes and returning back to physical focus. End of attunement transmission. Namaste.